all get nervous when it comes to public speaking. Yes, even you. If you don't believe me, check out this very powerful video from TED. It outlines that public speaking and high-stakes communication contexts always create a physical response. And sometimes the physical response that we get can be, how should we put it, embarrassing. Not only that, but we're all human beings with normal human being functions. So what happens when that physical response or the natural way that our bodies work get in the way of your communication, especially when you're giving a speech? For example, I have had brutal allergies all of my life. Well, there's actually not enough time on the YouTube video cap to be able to tell you everything that I was allergic to, but let's just say that it was a very long list. And even now, I have extreme allergies. I live in Iowa, and the pollen counts and the different pollens that impact my allergies are very concerning to my allergist. We'll just say it that way. Now, last week, I was really struggling, and I was sniffing and coughing, and we'll just say it like it is, just being kind of gross. And yet I had 3 speaking engagements that I needed to get to. So I had to use specific strategies to make sure that my physical response to speaking, as well as my physical allergic reactions, were not going to impede my message. So let's talk about how to navigate the different physical reactions you have when public speaking. Number 1, involuntary respiratory reflexes. That's a really fancy way of saying coughing and sneezing.
What?
First of all, again, give yourself grace. During my biggest talk last week in front of the biggest audience of the week, I had this tickle in my throat that wouldn't go away. I drank water, I quietly cleared my throat, but it got so bad at one point I started to lose my voice. So here's what I did. Number 1, I coughed, but I coughed away from the mic. If you have a physical mic like this one, it's easy to do. If you have a lavalier like I did, I simply covered it and coughed away. Now, if it's a light cough, just do it and move on. If it's more than a light cough, if it's a, full-blown dramatic coughing attack, or just enough to make you feel uncomfortable, address it by just saying, "Excuse me." And remember, most audiences are going to be graceful. Sure, there's going to be these 2 guys in the back who are going to judge you for coughing. Thanks a lot, guys. But those are not the audience members that you get to worry about or focus on. Coughing and sneezing are natural human reactions, so let it be just that. If the problem continues, simply say, "Excuse me, I need a moment." Pause, turn off your mic, move away from the mic, take a drink of water, do whatever you need to do to reset, and then come back and just explain, "I'm having a hard time speaking, but I'm going to keep going." Again, most audiences are incredibly graceful when this happens. Number 2, nervous system responses. Here's what nervous system responses looks like. It looks like a flushed face. It looks like sweating. It even looks like hives. I've worked with plenty of clients who, no matter what their preparation is, no matter what confidence level they have, they always break out in hives when they are speaking in front of others. So here's some tactics to address that. Sweating, number 1, keep a handkerchief nearby, and if it gets too bad, just wipe your brow and move on. Shaking, always hold something like a pen. That actually really helps to have the energy go somewhere instead of your body going to shake nonstop everywhere. And if you have an involuntary response like hives all over your body when you speak in front of others, address it for the audience. You might say something like, "Hey, my face is probably turning really red right now, and I'm breaking out in hives because that's my natural reaction to public speaking. And I watched this YouTuber one time tell me that it's a natural reaction. And not only is it a natural reaction, but it's a signal that this matters. I wouldn't get nervous in front of you if this didn't matter to me. So please forgive my red face and my rashed body, and understand that it's a natural reaction because I want to be here with you." Finally, number 3, physical and emotional illness. Look, we all get physically ill. It absolutely happens. The first thing you need to do is use your best judgment. I think we learned a lot from the pandemic, and, don't interact with other human beings in public when you are sick yourself. If you're truly, truly ill and you could be contagious to other people, stay home and make other arrangements. Second, It may be possible that you're emotionally ill. And when I say emotionally ill, I just mean that maybe you're having a really, really stressful time. Again, use your best judgment. If you are not feeling like you can properly serve your audience, consider that before you step on stage. But there's two things that I want to add to this. Number one, our bodies and our minds are stronger than we think. Although I grew up a Phoenix Suns fan and I absolutely despised the 1990s Chicago Bulls. And I know, before you put it on the comments, Michael Jordan's the greatest. I totally agree. I'm just still bitter about the NBA championship against the Suns with John Paxson hitting the three in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. I'm not over it, okay? But I did respect the Bulls, especially in the 1997 NBA Finals when Michael Jordan was suffering from a severe case of stomach flu, which, if you watch the documentary on Michael Jordan, you actually might find out that it wasn't necessarily the stomach flu. It could have been a bad pizza from somewhere. I don't know. Check it out. And he had one of the best games of his career under really extreme circumstances. But here's the deal. He didn't get there in the moment. Your ability to shift into another gear, especially when you're physically or emotionally ill, depends on your training, depends on your preparation. I'll be honest with you. Last week, not only was I physically ill, but there was a personal situation that I was dealing with that was incredibly emotionally taxing. I got some news literally half an hour before I was to walk on stage. And I reminded myself a strategy that I learned, which is this happening right now? Sometimes when we're ill, physically or emotionally, we tend to think the worst case scenario and we tend to be in immediate action. I had to recognize that the situation wasn't happening to me at that moment. It wasn't an emergency. It just felt like an emergency. And even though I was physically and emotionally ill, I knew that I had another gear. I knew that I had prepared my material enough and that I had rehearsed enough to be able to deliver with confidence. And final slight bonus lesson. When you're struggling, physically or emotionally, to speak in front of an audience, remember to focus out. When you're serving others, you actually physically and emotionally feel better. Above all, control what you can control and give yourself grace to that which you can't control. We're all human beings with natural physical and emotional reactions, and in those moments of extreme physical or emotional pain, remember that there's always grace to be had and that you're more powerful than you think you are. As always, make sure that you like that. If you like that, subscribe, come off mute, and speak up your story. Until next time, we'll see you soon.